Pascal, how have you felt? You guys before the season wanted to be a better defensive team this year. In what ways do you feel like this group has gotten better? In what ways do you feel like you do need to get better on that end?
I think we got better. We just got to be more consistent. Obviously, there's been a lot of games where we played really well defensively. Still a little bit of mistakes, like getting the rebounds at the end of like a great defensive play or like a great defensive possession. And also, once we get the ball, sometimes we turn it over right back, So I think things like that, can help us kind of show more of the improvement.
What's used the biggest difference on your best and worst nights as a team defensively?
Probably just more like force and just fight. I think some of the nights where we just come out flat, we don't have that much energy. Those are probably the tougher nights defensively.
What have you thought this week and even next week, we guys have a bunch of actual time to practice together, can do for you guys?
Yeah, I think obviously just knowing that we're not playing the way we want to play or we lost the last game is just, it's a lot of days to sit on that. But I thought our energy was great just throughout the week, just coming in, getting reps in, working on things we need to work on, building together. And again, go through stuff and this is part of it. You just got to continue to grind. And I think that's what we've been doing and attack these games with just a level of urgency and again, just put it all out on the floor.
My assumption would be on a 4 and 5, your body feels that you're fatigued a little bit, your aches and pains. When you have 4 days off, do you think you'll have that extra energy because you had the time off?
Right. I wouldn't call it off because we're still working,
right.
So. But obviously it's just different than the game. But yeah, I think for us, like I said, that urgency for us is just, I don't care if we play 5 games in 5 nights. We got to have that urgency every single night. That's where we at in the season. We're in a position where all these games means a lot for us, and we got to go out there and show that we want to win them.
Just because of the personnel moves you guys have had to have between injuries and even getting guys back, what was the value of a reset? Did you guys kind of need a space to kind of get used to who's on the floor together and get some 5-on-0 work and that kind of thing?
I guess we'll see. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah.
Did it feel useful in the moment?
No, I think it's good. I think you get to practice, you get to go out there on the floor. I think just reset your mind, your body. But at the same time, it's just gonna take us going out there and doing it. It doesn't matter about how much time we got or whatever. If you don't get out there on the floor and bring it, it's not gonna be good.
You obviously know Coach Hurst well. How has he adjusted to different personnel, and do you feel like it's a lot of different plays and techniques, styles than he had in Toronto?
I'm not really evaluating the coach. I'm out here trying to figure out my situation. But I know he's a guy that always fights and a guy that he's open-minded. So I'm sure he does a lot of different things.
How do you feel like that second unit is coming along? Obviously, you're running with TJ and Furphy and Jarris and Obi with that group. You're getting a lot more minutes together than the last couple games. What do you like about that group, and how is it starting to come together and develop some taste?
No, I think we like it. I think obviously we have pretty versatile. I think all of us can pretty much we can probably switch and we can do a lot of things. We have TJ, the pace is up, and I think just having me and TJ there, helps the lineup, and then giving the confidence to Jarris and Furphy, Obi, I think it's a good group, but at the end of the day, whoever we set out there on the floor, we just gotta be connected as a team. And I think the consistent thing we have to do every single night is just fight, be the hardest fighting team, and I think the rest is gonna take care of itself.
Thanks. Catch up, 25 games in. How would you evaluate the experience for you individually?
Pretty cool. I'm loving it so far. I think it's pretty awesome. I get to do a great job. Definitely learning to appreciate just the level of professionalism that people have in the league to maintain a certain level of just day-to-day coming, be working, and then be able to perform in any given night. So definitely appreciating that more and more.
When you first started getting playing time, people were looking for your shot, but how have the other aspects of the game improved, and what do you think you've been able to show outside of just spot-up shooting?
I think the biggest thing will be defending. I'm not going to stand the court if I can't defend. So that's the biggest priority for me right now, is just being able to keep my man in front of me. I know a lot of teams are going to set plays up to try and attack me whenever I'm on the court. So just being able to hold my own, that's been my biggest priority.
The chemistry with TJ, if you're out there running with him, I'm sure at any time you could get get a pass to your direction. But what's that been like?
Yeah, great. Yeah, I love playing with TJ. He's, yeah, as you said, he's always kind of looking to get others involved, and especially I think my play style suits really well when he's on the court. Just running down the lanes, cutting, and he's always going to find an open shot.
Is there a specific coach you had growing up or even here that has really helped you with defense or getting better on that end of the floor?
I don't know about specific coaches, but it's been a massive priority of mine, massive focus. I think I've taken good steps forward, but yeah, just really having. I think more of it's confidence, just being able to kind of hold my own weight, and obviously that's going to come with time and experience. But I think I'm learning a lot.
What's it been like just you to kind of catch up when you missed most of camp with your ankle injuries and stuff like that, and getting on the floor, you're kind of pulling the fire. You guys haven't had a chance to practice since the season started. What's it been like for you just to get a rhythm, but also, like you said, just to be able to get in there and trust that you can defend something you guys have been asked to guard?
Yeah, it's I've learned a lot. Kind of it's a bit of an unusual circumstances with our injuries, and then obviously I'm seeing a bit of court time. Just being able to really buy into my role, and just try and positively impact wherever I can. So that's been the biggest thing for me. I think just continuing to learn.
What did that? Go ahead. No, that Brooklyn game where second half you come out with the starters, you make 4 threes. What does that kind of game do for you mentally in terms of confidence or how you feel out there every day?
Yeah, that was big. That's pretty we looked at the loss, but I felt good out there. I think most of it's just confidence. Teammates have their confidence in me, and just being able to provide as much energy as possible. Just buying into my role.
Rick, in what ways have you felt you guys make defensive progress here, and in what ways do you still want to be better on that end going forward?
Well, we're working to get better all the time, and so this period has given us an opportunity to work on some things, and we just got to do it. The game's become a lot more physical. If you watch the Golden State Houston game last night, you can see that it was a early 90s score, and it's a different type of game. So we've got to gear our mindset toward more physicality. As I said the other day, with us, we're not a bunch of brute strong physical guys, but persistence is another form of physicality, and we have to bring that.
The answer may just be that physicality you described, but Pascal was just talking about the inconsistency you guys have had on defense. What to you is the biggest difference between you guys' best and worst nights on that end?
Like every other team in the league, it's attention to detail and inability to rebound the ball.
What all do you feel like you've gotten out of this week, out of the last 3 days, in terms of just having some time to spend with teammates?
The opportunity to work on things that we need to work on, and the guys have had a good mindset toward all 3 days. You always feel like you've made progress, but we got to go prove it on the court. And Philadelphia is, for us, it's a little unlucky. We're catching these guys getting fully healthy and coming off their, one of the best games of the season in Chicago. So we know we got our hands full, but it's an opportunity that we're looking forward to.
Can you see the confidence that a guy like Johnny can gain just from a little bit of experience, maybe comparing the first couple of times he was out there in regular rotation and maybe the last week or so?
Yeah, Furphy's a very good system player, even though he's young and doesn't have a lot of NBA experience. He's had great coaching coming up through systems in Australia, and he has a rare do-your-job approach to how he plays the game, and it's one of the reasons that he's gotten on the floor and stayed on the floor at times. And so right now we need everybody, and he's proven that he's ready.
What do you like about him defensively? You talked before that I think he's a very deceptively good defender. What does he do well on that end? You obviously trust him in some tough assignments right out of the gate when he was getting minutes. What do you like about what he does, especially guarding the perimeter?
Well, he has a physical toughness that is doesn't belie his looks. you know, or his facial looks. I mean, the guy looks like he's in middle school.
Right.
But he's physically tough. He's a persistent defender. He, as I mentioned, he's done a good job of knowing his job within the system, and he rebounds. And on top of that, he's also a very good runner. And so, you know, without Shepard, without Smith, you know, Nembhard until he came back last week, we've been without our best runners. And so his running is something that cannot be overstated or underrated.
Game, but to see you play all 4 quarters and into the 4th quarter had to be viewed as a step forward for you. How did you come out of that, and how do you feel?
I feel good. The recovery's going well. I think I'm doing the right things to prepare myself.
What's the hardest part of that last week or so when you couldn't play in the second half and you were on that restriction?
I haven't looked at anything that's like really hard. I'm just excited to get back on the floor and play.
I guess is the restriction over for you now that, especially since you've had this week to get games? I mean, are you still?
Not exactly sure. I'm gonna ask those questions, see the balance.
Right.
I'm not sure.
When you look at this team defensively, I know you guys wanted to take a step forward or be what you were after the All-Star break for most of this season. On your best nights versus your worst nights, what to you is the biggest difference in what you guys are doing on that end of the floor?
I think consistent energy and just intensity on the defensive side of the ball, starting it there and allowing that to create leverage on the offensive side of the ball. Played against Toronto recently. We kind of want to do what they did to us that game. I think that's when we're our best. I think that's when we're really inserting our will into the game.
You feel like you've been able to solve some of that stuff this week? Can practice time help with that, or is that just a want-to, will, energy kind of deal?
I think having a couple of days off is nice and just relax and not have the pressure of the games, but I think it's within ourselves to all come correct individually.
I mean, it's kind of on that note. To what degree could you guys kind of have a reset this week? You know, not having any games, getting some actual time in here to spend together because you really haven't much practice time in a long time.
What's the reset? What you mean?
Just to be able to get back here and kind of work on everything that you've had trouble with, basically.
It's always nice to get
you guys reconnected.
Yeah, it's always nice to get some practices in because you know, a lot of time to get that in during the year. Focus on a couple of things, come together as a group. I think we all understand what we got to do. We just have to do it.
Teams being physical with Tyrese picking him up inline to inline. In what ways does your presence help prevent that or help counter what they do there?
I think I can be aggressive off the ball against him. If they're so tight up on him, it opens up gaps on the floor where I can get into the paint and try to make plays for myself and others. I think everybody has to be aggressive around Ty when they're doing stuff like that and not put as much pressure on him.
As far as that goes, I mean, last year you had a lot of the same situations of giving him more opportunity to run off the ball where you were handling. Is the way that he's being defended any different? Is that assignment any different now than it was kind of in the second half of last year?
I'm not sure. I think it's similar.